have to watch a clock. I don't even have to watch a clock. I don't even have to watch a clock.
Hello there. Welcome to the Bold Moves Podcast, episode number 85. Today I had the pleasure of chatting with Lotanna Ezeogu, who is an amazing woman from Nigeria who up and moved to Dubai and ended up switching her major and discovering the power of networking, and now teaches networking for introverts. She's a fascinating and energetic woman. I adored speaking with her, and I think you're going to love her story too. I am the host, Mandy Bryce, and I am so excited to share interviews with inspiring people who are motivational and who have made bold moves outside of their comfort zones, with my hope that you will take bold moves outside of your comfort zones and have amazing stories to tell from living your dream life. All right, I hope you enjoyed this interview. Stay tuned until the end. And yeah, without further ado, enjoy Lotanna. All right, welcome to the Bold Moves Podcast. I am with Lotanna Ezeogu, who is all the way in Nigeria. Is that where you are?
Yes, Nigeria.
Awesome. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Mandy. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. So you know that the podcast is called Bold Moves. I would love to hear your story and the bold moves you've made that have earned you this spot on the podcast.
Okay. So when I was 19 years old, I moved to a completely new city for university, college. So I know in the States it's called college, and like in the UK it's called uni. Whichever. But I moved to a completely new city. I didn't know anyone. You know how your parents tell you, oh, you have this cousin that you've never met that lives like an hour and a half away from where you're staying? Yeah, so it was one of those situations where the only person that I was related to or was supposed to know lived very far away. So I just moved to this completely new place, and that was a really bold move.
Awesome. How far away from home was it?
Okay, so it was when I was 19, I moved from Nigeria to Dubai, so the United Arab Emirates. It's about 6 hours, 7 hours by flight.
Oh, wow. That is quite far.
Yeah.
And I imagine a completely different culture.
Completely different culture, exactly.
Do you have any interesting stories about that experience?
Yes, I have a ton of interesting stories. So I used to be extremely shy, and it was at a point in my life where I had lost my confidence because private university in Nigeria is not like anywhere else. Private uni in Nigeria is almost like boarding school. So you're not allowed to speak out or be yourself. You know, you have to be dressed a particular way. You're not allowed to be you. And going through that experience, I think made me lose my confidence. I wasn't sure who I was because I was always supposed to be somewhere, you know what I mean? And then I moved immediately after that experience. So it was moving to a new city when I had like really low confidence levels. I wasn't even sure who I was as a person. But it was an awesome experience because moving to a place where I didn't know anyone helped me really figure out who I was, because there were no like parental influences, or when it's just you in a city, then you really figure out who you are. And I met the most amazing set of human beings ever. I met a group of female friends that were the most confident people I met, and they could start conversations with anyone, anywhere, and it rubbed off on me. So I ended up having all these amazing experiences, like working in major events like fashion weeks and World Sports Awards, and working with major brands like Red Bull and LG, and even getting to work with Morgan Freeman and Kevin Spacey and all of that stuff. So it was an amazing experience. Yes.
Wow, it sounds like it. I can kind of understand what you're saying about moving to a new place and how not only can you, really learn who you are because you're your only person that you have to work with at the beginning of it, but I feel like there's also some freedom in being able to decide, which like really we're able to decide who we are every day. But if you are, somewhere where you don't know anyone and nobody has preconceived notions about how you used to be shy, for example, you can decide that you're an outgoing person now, and no one's going to be like, wow, Lotanna's changed. What's the deal?
Exactly. You define who you are, and there's nobody to be like, oh, wow, you went from this to that, because it's completely new people that didn't know the former Lotanna. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. It's funny because when I was in high school, I was sort of shy. And then as I've gotten older, I'm definitely someone like what you've described, where I'll just go up to anybody and start talking to them. And so when I went to my 10-year high school reunion, I was around all those people and I thought, okay, these people are thinking of me as shy Mandy. So then I was shy. And my fiance was like, are you going to talk to anybody? And I'm like, well,
that happens.
Maybe. And I have no idea.
Yeah, that
why.
happens.
So I can see how going to a completely different country, you would be like, all right, nobody has any expectation, or I don't know what it is.
True. And I feel when you don't know people, okay, so Nigeria is a very conservative place in the sense that you can't, it's not very conservative, because I live in Lagos, and Lagos is the more cosmopolitan part of Nigeria. But in most places in Nigeria, you know how you walk around during summer with your like summer shorts and your summer dresses? It's pretty unusual in most places in Nigeria. So it was fun for me to just like relax and just not look at it as, oh, this is something wrong. So it was nice to just have these different experiences. And like you said, a completely new culture. So I got to find out about different people and taste different food. And Dubai is the kind of place that there are people from everywhere. Sure. So in my class, I'm pretty sure I had someone from every country in the world. Like there are people from Sweden, from like South Africa, from Kenya, from like different places, Sri Lanka, so many different people. So it was just amazing to be in this like pot of so many different people. And I think that's where my love for travel came from.
Well, and now you have a whole group of people that you can crash on their couch when you travel.
Exactly.
You've made all those friends from everywhere.
Exactly.
That sounds fantastic. So I'm kind of curious, what made you choose Dubai and that school?
Oh, it wasn't really a choice. So I just wanted to leave. I really just wanted to leave my school.
Okay.
And I was applying everywhere. So Middlesex University, because I like, I know about British universities. They come to Nigeria a lot and go to schools and talk about their unis and stuff. So I applied to Middlesex because of the time frame. I applied really late at the end of the year. Next start date was in January. So Dubai was the easiest place to get a visa. That wasn't going to take a lot of time. And I was able, with Middlesex, because it's a British campus, you can transfer at any time. So for me, it was like, okay, go to Dubai, stay there for 6 months and then like transfer to the UK. So that's really what happened. And I had other offers, but it was Middlesex that came earlier. So I just took that one because I was like, I just need to leave. Yeah. So I took that one and I left, and amazing, wonderful decision, because I ended up having a school that had like 5 months of summer holiday. So it was awesome.
That sounds pretty amazing. And I know Dubai, for a lot of people, is a huge vacation destination, right? They have those insane resorts. Did you get to check those out much, or were you?
Yes, I got to check. Yeah, I got to check a lot of things out. So when I came in at first, I used to be a nerd. Like I was very, into my books and, always studying and reading. And I did that for a couple of months.
Okay.
And I just told myself, I was like, you need to chill. You're in uni. Like you're here to experience life. Like, yes, school is important, but have a balance. Like have a social life, but still do well in school. So when I decided to do that, I got to experience so many new places, not because I had a lot of money. This is also why I feel people are so important, but because I met so many people, because of these people I knew, these friends I knew that could start conversations with anyone. And I would come across someone who was like a chef in this 5-star hotel or 7-star hotel, and then we could go there for free and eat, or somebody would be dating like a DJ, and like we would get into these really VIP places for free. So I got to do a ton of stuff for free, for like 90% off. It really was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. It's all about who you know, right?
Exactly.
So what did you study and what are you doing now?
Okay, I studied business administration, and it's funny because I went from pure sciences. Remember how I said I just needed to leave?
Yeah.
And for the January entry, because normally school starts in September, but then around 2008, 2009, they started to let people in January, but only for business courses.
Okay.
So you could come in with a business course, do a six-month term, and then transfer to the course you wanted to get into.
Okay.
And then I did that because I said, okay, I'm gonna like take a break from architecture, building technology. I was doing that kind of stuff, and then I did business. But I fell in love with business because I'd come from pure sciences where they tell you like, oh, this is a law, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's Newton's law, and like it's a law. And then I got to experience business where you get to argue in class and you get to go into companies and do case studies, and it was just too much fun, and I decided to stay. So that's what I studied in uni. And then what I do now is so funny. So my Dubai experience, moving to a completely new place, I'm an introvert, and I used to be extremely shy. I was so shy that someone said hello to me one time and I ran out of the room. Yes, exactly. But that experience of talking to people, getting out of my shell, meeting other people that brought me out of my shell, and having and getting all of these opportunities because of the people I knew, I built a business around that. So what I do now is I teach introverts to network easily. So I take them through like my transformation process, and I help them have the same transformations and give them opportunities to give them like open up opportunities for them to do stuff, because like the more people you meet, the more opportunities you have access to. So yeah, that's what I do. I teach introverts to network easily.
That's awesome. I love that. I feel like networking can be so hard, especially for introverts, because if I go to events, I'm an introvert as well, an outgoing introvert, but
awesome.
It's easy for me to just find the one person I already know there and talk to them, or, help out with things so that you don't have to talk sometimes. But I usually find that if I do step outside of my comfort zone and make the first step, the other person's probably just as scared. Or
exactly.
So if you remember that, like, they'll think, oh, that person was really nice. She walked up to me and said hi when I was freaking out or whatever. So
exactly. Because most times what I've come to realize after doing a ton of interviews is most people are just worried that the other person isn't going to respond positively to them. So if you take the first step and you say hello to people, 99% of people will respond to you positively. So yes, you are completely right.
All right. I'm glad that the interviews correspond with my assumption.
Awesome.
So I'm curious, it may be the person saying hello to you and you ran out of the room, or it could be the big move you made to Dubai. But what is the scariest thing you've ever done?
Oh, what is the scariest thing I've ever done? This is one of those times where people ask you stuff and you can't, you've done stuff, but nothing comes to your mind. Yeah.
Just fearless, never afraid.
No, I'm afraid of a ton of stuff. Okay, I remember now. So one of the scariest things I've ever done, or what I can remember right now, I think I used to have a phobia for driving.
Okay.
And what I mean by phobia, it was I just couldn't. I really used to have a phobia for driving. And when I was learning to drive, I had to drive. Lagos is an extremely busy city, and I had to drive to the busiest parts of town.
Okay.
And I think that was really scary. So I don't have one of those I jumped out of the plane experiences, but yeah, for me it was a real phobia, and having to just put myself in that environment where it was the extreme. Yeah, I think off the top of my head, that is the scariest thing I can think of. But yeah, I'm sure I have scariest stuff I've done, but it's not coming to mind right now.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So then thinking about that experience of, making yourself get in the car and, take yourself wherever you had to go, or, maybe before you got out of the plane, although it seems like you were pretty eager to get a fresh start somewhere else, or even just at events when you first started, being less shy. How do you push past fear to do whatever it is you need to do when you're about to do something really scary? What advice would you
I
give
found
someone
that
who's...
action. Sorry.
Oh, that's
I
okay. I
can
was
hear
just
you
going to
real
say,
quick.
what advice would you give to someone who's about to do something really scary or considering it?
Okay, awesome. I have found that action cures fear. So there's a quote that says, if you can't run, then walk, and if you can't walk, then crawl, and if you can't crawl, like just keep moving forward.
Sure.
And for me, that's what it is. If you're scared of something, you want to take small steps. So small steps that boost your confidence. Sometimes people go from 0 to 100, but I'm not one of those people. It's very rare that I go from 0 to 100 because sometimes you don't have a choice. You have to go from 0 to 100. But most times I tell people, if you're very scared of doing something, just what is the smallest step you can take towards, doing this thing, and then do that thing. And then when your confidence builds with that step, you can take the next step and take the next step. But I've just found that action cures fear. The more you wait for stuff, the scarier it becomes. So like just take a step towards that thing you're scared of.
Yeah, I think that's great advice.
Thank
So
you.
it sounds like you might be clear on this one, but if you're not, I don't know is a perfectly acceptable answer. But I'm curious, and I know for a lot of people it changes too, but do you know your purpose? And if so, what is your purpose?
Yes, I know my purpose. And for me, it was, okay, so my purpose is to help a lot of people. So I want to be that kind of person that walks into a room and somebody says, because of this person, because I came in contact with Lotanna, my life is better. So for me, that is my purpose. I want to impact people positively. And I'm doing that through my work. I'm doing that through Skills Tribe. But Skills Tribe is also a stepping stone to something else.
Sure.
So for me, it's how can I make my community, or how can I make the people around me, how can I make their lives better? For me, I believe that is my purpose.
I love that. And that's something that
Thank you.
I think a lot of people look for a really grand thing or a really specific thing. And the way that you've defined yours is something that you can do over and over every day. Like if you buy something at a store, did I leave that cashier happier because I was in her line, or
Exactly.
So
exactly.
That's fantastic and inspirational. I love that.
Thank you very much, Mandy.
Sure. So now I'm curious, do you have any favorite books you would like to recommend, or any books that have impacted you positively and helped you become who you are?
Yes, definitely. So the Success Principles by Jack Canfield, that book was awesome for me because it came in a time in my life where I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. So it was the book that actually showed me my purpose, when I'm like, okay, that book helped me figure out that, okay, this is what my purpose is, because it made me think about my ideal life. What kind of life do I want to have ideally? And like, what can I do what steps can I start taking right now to have that life? So that book got me very, very clear on my purpose and my ideal life, what it looked like, visualizations and stuff. So that book, extremely awesome. And I think that book also made me believe that I could make money doing what I loved. So it was a lot of things. It was like helping me get clear on my ideal purpose, making me believe that I could actually do something I love doing. Because he would say simple things like, you can make a lot of money talking. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he says, Oprah makes a lot of money talking. And it's true. Oprah makes a lot of money talking. Yeah.
She sure does.
Yes. Awesome book. So Success Principles by Jack Canfield and 4 Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. Those are like my book recommendations.
It's great that you say that because I started 4 Hour Work Week, and you're probably like
Yay.
the 10th person to recommend it on the podcast. It comes up a lot. And I actually think I own
Okay.
an autographed copy of the Success Principles because I met Jack
Wow.
Canfield at
Wow.
he spoke at the conference that I was telling you about before we started recording, where I learned about how to podcast and ended up starting my podcast. He spoke at it, and so you
Wow.
could buy a copy of the book and he would sign it. So I'm pretty sure that's the one, and I haven't read it yet. So now this is like motivation to
Yeah,
really.
you should read it. You should read it, really.
Yeah. And I was liking the 4 Hour Work Week, but I have like a physical copy and it's huge. They're both really big books, actually. So it's hard for me when I'm traveling to take such a large book with me. But now I should just commit to both of those and finish 4 Hour Work Week and read the Success Principles, because it sounds like you're doing great and it worked for you. So that's inspiring. I'll have to check them out. Absolutely. Aside from books, and you've given great tips on, networking and stepping out of your comfort zone, which is perfect because, the whole point of this podcast is to get people out of their comfort zones and inspired by those who have. What other just general advice, anything that you've learned that you'd like to pass on to our listeners, would you have to share?
For me, I honestly believe that people are the biggest resource in the world because nothing happens without people. Like, people buy from you, you buy from people, you eat with people, you live with people. People are everywhere, and really nothing happens without people. So if I was to say one thing to anybody today, I would say master the art of people. And what I mean by that is, like, sharpen your people skills, get better at meeting people, connecting with people, adding value to people, because I found that what you sow, you reap. It's like the law of reciprocity. So when you add value to someone, more often than not, they add value to you. So for me, it would be that thing, like really tapping into people as a resource. So mastering people, understanding people, adding value to people. Yeah, for me, it has opened so many doors, and it has given me so many opportunities. So for example, I'm going to the States very soon, and I got like a free ticket from someone in my network. I was talking about, how, like tickets are expensive, and
Yeah,
I literally got a free ticket to the States. So the power of people.
that's amazing. Where in the States are you coming?
Okay, so I kind of want to hop around.
Sure.
I'm going to Plano first, and then I'm going to Houston, and the plan is to go to California and New York. But I'm still trying to see how I can like make it happen. But that's the plan. Like Plano, Houston, New York, Cali. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you end up in the San Francisco area, let me know, and
I will. I'll definitely
buy
let
you
you know.
dinner, a drink, or something.
Thank you. And it's a bold move because it's the first time I'm going to the States like ever. So
Yeah. And why are you starting in Plano, Texas?
Because my friend that's giving me the ticket lives in Plano, Texas.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I'm like, that's a really random first impression of the United States.
Everybody I tell is like, why are you stuck in there? Yeah, that's why.
I get the New York and California thing, but that one threw me off a little.
Well, but where would you recommend, Mandy, for me?
What are you hoping to experience?
Everything.
Everything.
People, food. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in Texas, I really like Austin a lot. It's a cool town.
Okay.
And I like the food there. Really quaint, but one of my favorite cities is Savannah, Georgia. I think it's really cool. And I love New Orleans. So, and actually New Orleans.
I've heard of New Orleans.
Yeah. That's not too far away from Texas. I mean, I wouldn't want to drive, but I know people who have made the drive. Those are my favorite cities in the United States. And of course, New York and LA and San Francisco and Chicago are all amazing too, but those are all big cities. So those would be, would be my like top list.
Your list of places.
Yeah. Yeah, so let me think. I was going to ask you another question and I got sidetracked by your trip to the United States coming up. Oh,
Yeah.
I know what it was. Okay, so you were talking, one thing I wanted to say that I loved where you're talking about um, taking advantage, like that sounds terrible wording it that way, but really using the people that you know to your advantage. The thing that I loved about how you put that is it didn't sound as creepy as the way I just said it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Because you focused on really helping people and adding value to people. So it wasn't like go out and meet people and think, what can they do for me? How can I, get this VIP experience, or like seek out chefs at 5 and 7-star hotels and try to get free things.
Exactly.
But more of a, reciprocal relationship where it's like, okay, I help them. Hopefully someday it'll come back and help me too, as opposed to like, what can I get out of this? How can I take advantage of in the negative way? So I think that's awesome that you have that mindset, and it seems to be paying off.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I feel networking is like planting in the sense that you don't go out and say, oh, I'm going to become friends with this head chef so I can get free stuff from him.
Right.
Networking is more like you never know who the person sitting next to you is. So start conversations with strangers because he might turn out to be this person or that person, or even the next Bill Gates. But even aside from that, I feel like networking is like planting in the sense that when you meet people, it's planting a seed, and then the more you follow up with them and add value to them, it's like watering the seed, and then the seed grows. So that's how I look at networking and people and adding value and following up with them. So, yeah.
That's awesome. So if somebody's listening to this and they want to know more about the services you offer for introverts to teach them how to network easily, how can they find you online? Where can people follow your journey or get the value that I'm sure you offer regularly on social media or your website? Where can people look for you? It'll be in the show notes too, but in case someone's just listening and wants to hear.
Awesome. So you can find me at skillstribe.com. So skill as in soft skills, hard skills, learning skill, and tribe like a tribe of people. So skillstribe.com. And I'm Skillstribe on all platforms. So Twitter, Instagram, you can find me there.
Okay, awesome. So in case anyone wants to connect with you, that's where they can find you. I love it. My last question I saved. It's my favorite question to ask everyone, even before I had a podcast, so I just had to incorporate it. But if 8-year-old Lotanna could look at a crystal ball and see where you are now and everything in between, on a scale of 1 to 11, how excited would little Lotanna be to see you now?
I think probably 8.
8? Okay.
Very excited, yes.
Yeah. But
very
still
excited.
Room for growth?
Yes, still room for growth, exactly.
Excellent. And what's coming for you? Do you have anything aside from your trip to Plano that's exciting that we can watch for?
So a couple of things. My trip to Plano, I'm very excited about that because I love to travel. I'm also working on something I'm very excited about, and it's called Life-Changing Conversations. So it's a free email course I'm working on, and I just want people to understand the importance of just starting conversations with people and hearing their stories. Because just like I said, you never know who the person sitting next to you is or will be. So it's me taking people through this journey of different people who have had different experiences, just starting a conversation with a stranger. Like, there are so many crazy stories. People have told me, oh, I met my husband because I started a conversation with this guy outside a restaurant. I know somebody who made like millions of naira because he sat next to a guy on the train, and he gave him a contract for something, and all these amazing stories. So I just want to, it's exciting to be working on that project because I feel like it's going to create awareness for how important it is to just meet people and have conversations with them. I'm also very excited because I'm adding new people to my team. So that process of trying to figure out who's the best at this and who's the search process, I think that's really exciting. Like trying to find people who are the best at something in this field or like this country, or that's
Sure.
exciting for me.
That
Yeah.
sounds really exciting. And those stories
Thank you.
sound fantastic too for your course. So I'm really intrigued.
Thank
And it
you.
goes along so well with, even just what we're doing now is having a conversation, even though it's not face to face. But I think
Yes, because when I go to San Francisco, I can stay with you.
exactly.
Or I can see you.
Yeah. So I think too, like with technology, it's fantastic and amazing that we're able to have this video conference with, from different continents. But at the same time, I think it can be terrible for some people because it becomes a crutch where instead of talking to the person sitting next to you, like you said, people just get out their phone and scroll through Facebook or Instagram or whatever and miss the opportunity to make those connections. So I think a reminder of going back to the basics of really getting to know people is probably much needed for a lot of people, myself sometimes included as well. So
Yeah, I think we all have our moments when like Instagram takes over.
absolutely. Which I'm sure Instagram loves, but maybe not as much our friends and family or strangers around us might not like it as much.
True.
Well, I hope you can make it out to the San Francisco area so that we can catch up and meet in person and see what crazy people we can meet around us when we hang out. Start some conversations.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Thank you so much for your time and all of the value that you've added to anyone who's listening.
Thank you so much for having me, Mandy.
It's my pleasure. How badly do you want to go to Dubai now and experience all the incredible things that Lotanna shared and your own new memories that perhaps she hasn't experienced yet? I think it's such a great story and such a great reminder to really put our phones down and strike up a conversation with someone that we are near who might just be lonely and wishing that you would say hi, especially at a networking event. Those can be kind of awkward. Anyway, I really enjoyed chatting with Lotanna. I hope you enjoyed the story as well. If you did, please share it with a friend or on your social media page so that I can reach as many people as I possibly can with the hopes that I will encourage them and these stories will motivate and encourage them to really live their dream lives. That is my ultimate goal. So if you can help me pass that on, I really appreciate it. Another way that you can help me do that is by subscribing so that you don't miss out on any episodes, and leaving reviews on iTunes, because both of those things show iTunes that we are worth listening to, and then they'll start suggesting us to other people. So I would love it if you did that. Stay tuned for this Friday. Lotanna has a really valuable challenge for everyone, and I am excited to use it myself and excited to see your posts on social media when you do the challenge. So stay tuned for that. Also, you can check out the show notes at www.mandiem.com/episode 85, since this is the 85th episode. And yeah, as always, be bold and have a sparkly day. Bye-bye.